So to relieve the stress before all of this stuff, what did you used to like to do? What did you do previously?
I like to get with my friends and talk. Go out to the club. Go to the spa. Go to the mall. Listen to music. Swim. I like to swim and go to church.
Okay. All right. So now we got to figure out a way to get you back interested in doing the things that you love to do. Um, so what we're going to do, first of all, what do we think? What would let me say it this way. What do you think would be a priority for you first? If you can fix the things right now that's wrong, how would you prioritize them?
Um, well, I don't really know how to prioritize them. I'm gonna put bills in school
Okay.
because if I don't pay my bills, I'll get put out,
Okay.
and I don't know if I can go back home. And then if I don't pass, I won't get a degree. I'll never make any money.
Okay. So let's start there. So let's start with the bills. So right now, how many hours per week do you have to work in order to maintain your bills?
Like 65.
So you have to do your 40 plus overtime.
Yes,
Okay.
I don't make a lot. Maybe at least 50, but that's that's not covering everything.
So
My rent is high.
so have you ever thought about a roommate?
I thought about it recently. That's a good idea. I could live with a roommate.
Okay. So now we on a whole college dorm. People are always looking for somewhere to go. So what could we do to get you a roommate? Where could we start?
I'm good with making flyers. I can make a flyer.
Okay. And then you can post them and we can you can put them in the different dorms because there may be somebody who wants to move out or it may be somebody who's looking for a roommate as well.
I don't know why I didn't think of
That's what we're here for. We brainstorming. We trying to get to a solution. Okay. So we're gonna make some flyers and we're gonna post them. Um, but also in that you got to make sure because you don't want just anybody to move in with you. So preferably, you got to have a preference. If you want male, female, or it don't matter. You want somebody that's been on that job a couple of months. Like
that.
you got to have some type of stipulations because you don't want to bring somebody else into the situation and make your situation more stressful.
I didn't think
So
about
just be mindful when you're making those flyers and really think about what will work for you because somebody could have just got a job today and they said, "Oh, I'm ready to move out." And you think about it and you're like,
that. That's not gonna help
"Uh,
me.
yes." So just be mindful if you decide to go that route with a roommate. Now, what else could we do besides the roommate that you think could help you with your bills that don't entail you working 65 hours a week? Now, you said you were unsure if moving back with mom was an option for you. Okay. So, do you think you can have a conversation with mom to see? Or that's just not something you want to do? And if it's not, it's okay. So, have you ever thought about just actually staying on campus in one of the dorm rooms yourself instead of why did you decide to get an apartment versus staying on campus anyway?
My
But
boyfriend wanted to have more privacy, so we got an apartment, but I don't need the privacy now because I'm just gonna focus on myself, and I could do that. I mean, the semester's about to be over, so
hmm
could you help me? Like,
we can. So, what we can do is go to the housing and student life and we can talk to them to find out how much more would it be. Do you have enough financial aid to cover this, or if you had to pay out the pocket, how much would you have to pay? And maybe we can use that as an option versus you getting a roommate. I mean, you'll still have a roommate, but it's whoever. So that may be a good suggestion as well.
that's a awesome suggestion. I just was like, I just can't think. Like I can't
It's
even put my thoughts
okay.
together. So I hadn't even thought about that. But so you can help me do that too.
Yes. So what we're gonna do, um, so we're gonna come up with a plan. So our first game plan is gonna be we're gonna do you want to talk to the student services, a student life first, or do you want to do the flyers?
I want to talk to student life first
Okay.
because maybe if they can do it, so in January I can stay on
Okay.
campus.
So let me look up their phone number for you. Okay. So this piece of paper that we're writing on, you're gonna take this piece of paper with you anyway. And the reason why I'm gonna give you this piece of paper is because I want you to know the positive things that you have going on in your life, the things that affect you bad. Well, I ain't gonna say bad, but have a negative effect. And the things that you enjoy doing. So when you get a moment and you start thinking, you can sit down and maybe you can start eliminating some of those negative things that you have going on. But I'm just gonna write the phone number to Student Life here,
Okay.
and we just gonna
You can
keep
call
jotting
them.
down notes. And so what I want you to do, I want you to call them, and you can set up an appointment with them to see what day they want you to come in, and you can talk to somebody. Then you can let me know, and if you feel if you would like for me to go with you, I would be more than happy to go with you to introduce you, to sit down and come up with some decisions so you can, decide on which apartment is going to be better for you. Because also if you stay on campus, it's going to alleviate that stress of you having to buy food because you can eat on campus that comes with your meal plan. And even when you want to do activities, if you on campus already, you think about it, you're saving on gas because you don't have to drive to and from the work each time. And if you want to do some activities that's here, you'll be able to get a little more wiggle room. Your library, all of your supports are here in
That
one
would
place.
be that would just like eliminate all my problems. But while you were saying all of that, I thought about it. Do you think my dad wasn't helping me because of my boyfriend? I mean,
And
it's different now because he's gone. So I think, like, he used to help me before,
mhm.
but I don't know if he felt like I was grown now and I had a whole man. So he was like, I'm not going to help you.
So you have to think about it. This is my suggestion. Let me give you a scenario. Okay. So you and your best friend, let's just call her Sarah. You and your best friend living together. Y'all do everything together. Sarah said, "Hey, I can't give you. I'm $50 short on the rent this month because I needed to buy an extra book for class." You say, "That's fine. I'll take care of it this time." Because of course she does things for you and she look out for you. Y'all a team. Because in the past, when you didn't have money for groceries, she looked out for you. But then you see Sarah come in the house and she got on some brand new Tims. Her hair is done, her nails is done, and you're like, "Hey, I thought you didn't have any
Oh,
money."
no.
"Oh, my new boo bought this for me."
Oh, you need, boo need to give me my money back.
Exactly. So even though that's your dad and he's there to help you and support you, but if he feel like you have somebody that is taking care of you, then why do he need to take care of you?
Oh, my God.
So you just gotta kind of look at it. So it may not be that he's trying to be mean to you, or he's just trying to be hard on you. It's just the fact that you're showing him that you're growing up and you want your independence. And you became independent once you decided, "I'm moving out of your house. I'm getting my own place. I'm going to school. This man is coming to live with me." And in his head, what's going on with you and that man?
Oh, my God, Miss Trees. Like,
So you have to, yes.
my God, my dad said, like, he was like, if you want to be grown, I'm going to let you be grown. And I just was feeling like he was just, like, I ain't have nobody. Like, he just left me out here. But now that you say that, maybe he didn't leave me. So I don't know if I need to, like, did I push him away? Because sometimes he'll try to help me, and I would be like, no, Derek is going to do it. I don't really need your help, Dad. And I don't know. You think you can help me call him? Or help me, like,
So I'm not going to say that I'm going to help you call him, but what I think you should do is call him and have a conversation with him because that's your dad. And a given fact, your
he
dad
just
is
help me
not going to
with,
stop loving you because of a bad decision or a decision that you
you
make.
think so? I don't know.
I
I'm
don't think so.
scared.
He's been your dad for 18 years now. He know his daughter. You know your dad's heart. And I think too that will lift a lot of stress off you if you just call your dad and you let him know the situation. You know, Dad, I understand, that your position. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Dad, I understand your position. I've made a mistake. Sometimes an apology will take you a long way. It takes you a very, very long way.
Oh my God.
So I would just say, it's okay. You just call dad and you have that conversation with him. And maybe him and mom can come together, and that deficit that you're facing in those bills for the next month, they may be willing to pick up the slack for you because they're seeing that you're trying. You go to them with this plan, Dad. I reached out to Student Life and I'm trying to get on campus, and I'm gonna move there. I think that's the best decision. Me and Derek has broken up. We're not together anymore, and just see where it go from there. I mean, what can it hurt?
You think? Well, now that you put it like that, I think if I come to my parents and say what you just told me, they probably will say what you said. Like, they probably will react that way. Now that I think about it, I just think I didn't know how to carry it, and I should have called my dad a long time ago. But I wanted to call him like when this first happened, but my pride wouldn't let me do it.
Okay.
But now I think I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna try to do that today because I feel like if I call him, then maybe I won't even have to go through like Student Life and all this other stuff, or maybe he'll help me. Just like they'll give.
So the purpose of Student Life is what? Tell me why we're reaching out to Student Life, because we want to do what?
I'm gonna find out how much it costs to live on campus and if there's any housing available for next semester.
Okay.
And how I can pay for it too.
Exactly. So when you're going to dad and you're trying to show dad that you're being responsible, what information should you have for him?
So I can say, Dad, I went to Student Life. I didn't want to call you first.
Okay.
I went to Student Life and I checked on how much it'll cost, and if my financial aid will cover it, I can just tell him my financial aid will cover it. I'm not coming to you for money, but if it won't, I'll tell him that we broke up, and I was trying to be an adult, but I found out that I'm just not. I'm not there yet. Like I'm not ready yet.
Support.
Yeah, I need him.
Okay. So what about these grades? Now, what are we going to do about these grades? So we know that we were suffering in the grades aspect because we were trying to work 65 hours a week, go to class, do homework, and we were getting behind on assignments. So what can we do to fix these grades?
Well, I guess I can meet my teachers, the ones that I'm failing in, and ask them if there's any way. Maybe I'll tell them what's been going on. I'll tell them, like, I think maybe I've been depressed and I just didn't have the energy, and ask them if I can make up my work.
So what we don't want to do is self-diagnose, even though we may feel like, oh, I'm depressed, that's why I'm doing XYZ. We don't want to self-diagnose because we don't know that. But what you can say is, this is the reason why I'm in this situation. And you can look at my grades previously and see that I normally do all my work, So is there any way possible you can give me an extension? Or maybe you can ask them, can you have some extra credit work? Or just come up with some type of solution that they are able to kind of understand where you're coming from. Tell them, I'm not asking for a pity party, but I am asking for a chance. I've just been in a rough spot, my circumstances, and I just need some support, and that's all you can do. If you don't ask, you'll never know.
I can do that.
Same, it's that same theory, and as far as your religion, if church is what gives you that feel good, regardless of how tired you is and whatever your focus is, and you don't have to go to church. If going to church is too much because you can't pay attention, you can look at church on the internet. You can listen to church on the radio. You can do a podcast.
I didn't think about any of that.
You got options. You don't have to get up out your bed, and you can still get your word in. So don't think because you don't go to church that God doesn't know your story. So use your ways.
You think
You got to think outside of the box sometimes.
I could?
You know?
That's something I could have been doing. Like when I was feeling sad and just tired, I could have just pulled it up on my laptop and probably felt a little bit better.
Put your earphones in and listen.
But you know what I was doing? Instead of going like when I wanted to go to church, I just go buy me a bottle of wine when I ain't feel good and just drink something and try to go to sleep.
So what we going to do about this drinking? Because now, you know, each time that you have a situation, is that what you're going to resort to?
It didn't really help me. It didn't really help me at all. Like I still feel the same way. I feel better after I'm talking to you, but maybe I could call my friends like instead when I want to drink. Like I would drink socially with my friends, but I was trying to like numb how I was feeling.
Okay.
So,
but even though you was just drinking socially and you don't feel like it helped you, but each time you was having an issue, you picked that bottle up.
I did. I was.
So again, that's something to think about. Do you feel like you need that bottle to cope? Do you need that bottle to get back?
No, I did at the moment, but I think I can manage that. I think now that like I'm aware of what I was doing, I wasn't thinking about it until you said it. But now that you say that, like I just won't drink. I'll just do something else. Like I might go swimming or something instead.
Okay. Well, this will be my suggestion for that as well. So here on campus, we do have a program, and it's not Alcoholic Anonymous. So don't think that everybody that goes there are just alcoholics laying out on the street. Because most people, when they think about an alcoholic, they think about people they see living on the street or somebody get drunk and just act crazy. But that's not what it is. Alcoholism is a disease. It's a real disease. And I'm not saying that you have that, but we want to make sure that if you are having an issue or you are having those kind of thoughts, that we can get you some help. So even if you just go visit this group session, we have a session, a group that meets, people who drink here on campus. So maybe you can go to one of their sessions just one day and see, do you like it? I can find out, well, when we go to the student life, they can tell you exactly when it is.
Okay.
Or I can look it up, and maybe you can just go to one session. I think it's on Wednesdays at 6:00.
I think I can do that. I probably can take one of my friends with me.
Yes, and that's it. It is Wednesday at 6:00. So that's a great support for you to have as well. And then you'll have somebody that's supportive there with you. So that person can kind of encourage you to speak out. And you may hear somebody that has the same story that you have. So you don't feel like you're in this alone. So that's very good for us to do that as well. Today I feel like we have actually talked about a lot. We talked about a lot. You opened up a lot, especially for somebody who don't like people to know their business. You definitely, told me a lot of it, and it's good. And now, how do you feel since you got some of that stuff off of your chest? How do you feel?
I feel better. Like I feel like I was just making it so much more than it was. Cause then, you just told me I could just make a few phone calls and visit these places, and I could come in here. So I don't think I knew how to process it because it was so much.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah, but now it's like since it's broken down, and you wrote the steps out for me, it's like much easier. I feel a lot better. I haven't smiled in a long time.
Yes,
So
and it's so.
You
and
made
it's
me laugh.
okay.
I haven't laughed in a long time. So
And it's okay. You young. You have your whole life ahead of you. So we don't want the little things to stress you out of your mind. We want to get it together. So I would like to see you back next week. So a week from now will be Monday. So what time is good for you?
Monday.
Think about class and work now, because we want to make sure that it's a time that you're free from both of them.
I think I'm gonna like cut my schedule back a little bit for a
Okay.
week at work. I'm just gonna have to talk to my dad and see. I think if he knows that I'm trying, and my parents stress the importance of education to me. So maybe if he knows I want to get my grades together or I will fail,
Okay.
that they'll help me. So I'm gonna push that back a little bit. So maybe are you here? Can I do like 3 o'clock?
Okay. So I'm gonna write you down for Monday at 3. Okay. And when you come back, what's your homework assignments?
I have a lot of homework. So
What's the main?
my
Not your
main
homework
two.
for school. Your homework for here. What are your homework assignments? When you come back on Monday, tell me the 2 things that you supposed to do.
So I'm gonna call. I'm gonna visit student life,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna call my dad or
Okay.
my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going
I'm
to
sorry. It's 3 things. And what's the third thing?
and find check on the support group.
Support group. So those are the 3 things that we're going to work on. Now, don't get discouraged if you don't get to all 3. I want you to do all 3. But if you start feeling overwhelming, stop, take a deep breath, and start over.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. Stop, take a deep breath, and start over. When you go to class this week, speak to your professors. Stay back out the class for a moment and just let them know, hey, I went to university counseling. I'm getting XYZ lined up. But meanwhile, while I'm getting that lined up, can you help me by whatever? Whatever you feel like is feasible to you. You got a paper that's due this week. Maybe, hey, can I get an extension? Whatever you feel like you need to do, make it feasible to you. Because nobody knows your issue but you. You have to fix your own issues, and nobody can speak for you but you. So you have to remember
Right.
that, okay?
Right. They didn't
So
know.
I need you to work on those 3 things. And on next week, we're going to see where we go from there, all right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for coming
Thank you
in.
so much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.